I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. As expected, I got quite a bit of comments and feedback on the blog I did about a month ago on the downtown Vancouver condo window is closing. And in another 20 years, it will be unaffordable for most people. All but the wealthy will be buying anything bigger than a one-bedroom and den if you want to live in the downtown core. And as expected, I know when I'm going to get a lot of feedback and a lot of comments and a lot of pushback from viewers with the videos I shoot, and I knew that one would get a lot of comments for sure, and a lot of people that don't agree with what I'm saying there. But I stand 100% behind what I said in that blog, as did a lot of people that contacted me and commented, including the guy that I had just recently done an interview with in New York with a major financial publication out there. He'd been to Vancouver many times, knew it well. He agreed 100% that in another 20 years, living in downtown Vancouver will be unaffordable for most people. If you think it's tough now, wait till you get 20 years from now. He also commented to me, isn't it already unaffordable for most people? And he's right. Currently, right now, it is for a lot of people. If you're a blue-collar worker or in the service industry, it's probably pretty difficult for you to be able to afford a downtown condo. But that said, as I mentioned in my video, there will be plenty of windows between now and the year 2038 to get into the downtown condo market. It's not going to be easy, but there will be buying opportunities. We might have one this fall. It looks like we're in the early stages of the downtown condo market finally starting to cool a little bit. Maybe we're heading into a more balanced market. There's not as many bidding wars and having to offer over asking price subject free that there was just a couple of months ago. So there will be windows. We'll have another cycle here where maybe the downtown condo market goes down 10 or 15%, maybe something a little bit more severe. It'll go down over the next few years. It'll probably be a slow descent and then might stay balanced for a year or two, and then it will take off again and go into another cycle. I've been through so many of these over the last 30 years. They're normal, and we're overdue for a new cycle to start here. But after it takes off, let's say in another 6 or 7 years again, there will be another correction after that and another buying window for someone to buy a downtown condo. But the bottom line is that all the new developments that are coming online in Vancouver right now, and from this point forward, are all going to be luxury condos, starting at $1,500 a square foot to well over $2,000 a square foot. So I've said before, the cavalry is not on the way. If you're expecting 800 a square foot condos to be coming brand new, to be coming down the line here in the next 5 or 10 years, you're going to be waiting a long time. Developers are shelling out $50–60 million for small parcels of land. They're only going to be building luxury. But again, there will be windows of opportunity. All hope is not lost. Gee, I just sold a one-bedroom, junior one-bedroom, about 500 square feet with parking under $500K last week to a hairdresser. So there are windows and with parking. I had a second one, a studio apartment with parking, I just sold for $480 a couple weeks ago. So there are going to be opportunities and windows there, but it's not going to get any easier for people. 20 years from now, the prices that you're seeing today will seem pretty reasonable. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention too is I had some commenters saying that, gee, talk about I was pushing a fear of missing out to people. And gee, obviously these people have never watched my blog here for very long. They have not watched what I've been saying for the last 3 or 4 years. If they had, they know that I'm the last person that pushes a fear of missing out. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I've based my business on. And they definitely haven't read my book, which they should. Fear of missing out. I'm one of the few people, I think, in Vancouver that paints a balanced picture to what real estate will do to you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Go back and watch my blogs that I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. When the foreign buyers tax came in, I was doing lots of blogs on that, on how they're coming in through the Quebec Investor Program and how it should probably stop. I did other blogs too on the abuse of the principal residence exemption. That is the one, a few media outlets have picked up on this, but that is the one that I'm surprised that more people haven't picked up on. Go back and watch my blogs on it. It's funny, there they're worried about the foreign buyers coming in buying homes, but the big money is going out the back door, where they're buying multiple properties, putting them in all the kids' names, and then selling them later on tax-free. That's where the big dollars are going, and that's where the government of Canada needs to stop that and what's going on. I was the first one to talk about pre-sale flipping and how dangerous it is. I was telling you guys stories a year ago about a guy in my office who told me about a buyer who had bought 3 or 4 pre-sales out in Surrey last year, put 5% down on them, and has no intention or no ability to be able to close on them next year. The whole idea is to buy them just before completion next year, flip them as an assignment, and make a bunch of money and go. It's very dangerous, absolutely nuts, especially if I was this guy now and we're seeing early signs of maybe the market slowing. This guy doesn't complete on these until spring 2019. I'd be getting worried for sure. He's got 4 units he's bought. He's committed to them. If he can't complete or flip them at a profit, he's in some serious trouble. So I think I paint a pretty balanced approach here. I've also talked about not overextending yourself. My clients, and I can't speak for other realtors, I know that there's a lot of crazy things that have gone on out there. All I can speak for is the clients that I work for on the buying and selling side. And on the buying side, my clients don't overextend themselves. I've always blogged that if the bank will lend you $800K, doesn't mean you have to take the $800K. Why not take $700 or $750? Leave yourself a buffer for mortgage rate hikes that are inevitable, and they're starting now. I've also blogged many times, and my golden rule of real estate is an 8 to 10 year holding period. If you want to buy a condo in Vancouver and can't commit to holding it for at least 8 to 10 years, then just stay renting until you have committed to Vancouver and can hold the property. Or you have a backup plan where you can move, rent the property out until the market recovers, which it always does, and then sell it down the road. So I think I've painted a pretty balanced approach here. I think people that know me, know my business, have worked with me, know how I operate, and how my father has operated in this business for the last 50 years as well. I built my reputation on honesty and representing my clients properly, and schooling them and educating them on how to buy and hold real estate. That's what I've built my whole business on. So the last thing I'll talk about too here is the fear of missing out. I'd like to know too how buying your principal residence, and I've done many videos on the benefits of simply buying your principal residence instead of renting long term, and how renting long term, it's okay in the short term, but becoming a lifetime renter is a mug's game. You're crazy. You're throwing away all your retirement funds there. I've blogged so many times about the benefits of simply buying and holding your principal residence. And for the love of God, I don't know how buying your principal residence has to do with a fear of missing out. Your principal residence is your home. It's shelter. It's a necessity of life. Again, if you don't have a roof over your head, you're either owning or you're renting. So there's no fear of missing out buying your principal residence. I've extolled the virtues of buying that home, paying it down over the next 15 or 20 years, enjoying the home, and then if you want, when you're ready to retire, sell the house completely tax-free. Many people I know for a fact have no clue about how Canadian taxation works. None. Zero. They don't know what the dividend tax credit is. They don't even know what their marginal tax rate is, for God's sakes. Learn this stuff before you start commenting and criticizing someone buying their principal residence. The principal residence exemption, I've said it 15 times on this blog, has minted more millionaires, including myself, and that's just one source of my income. As people know who have read my book, I'm also, have been in buying good dividend-paying stocks for the last 30 years. But it has created more millionaires in this country than any other sources combined, and will continue to. You buy it, hold it, sell it, it's all tax-free to you. Unlike an RRSP, which is fantastic, you should be maxing out your RRSP, but I don't think a lot of people realize that, that money will grow tax-sheltered in your RRSP, and you do get the tax deduction every year. But when it comes time to draw out that RRSP in retirement, you are taxed on it at your full marginal rate. And a lot of people will say, well, I'll be in a lower tax bracket then anyways. Well, you might be, but I can tell you I won't. A lot of the clients, successful clients I work with, aren't going to be in a lower tax bracket. They are going to be in the same tax bracket they are today, 50%. So when it comes time to start drawing out that RRSP, half of that is going to go to Revenue Canada. Whereas you buy a Yaletown condo today for $800K, keep it for 30 years and sell it for 2.5, that $1.7 million capital gain is going to go to you completely tax-free. You don't have to pay a dime. You would have to accumulate about a $3.5 million RRSP to match what you're going to get after tax. So learn this stuff. Educate yourself on these things. There's no fear of missing out when it comes to buying your principal residence. The final thing I'll say is, listen, if you want to wait, we are in the late innings of this bull market that I've been blogging about for many years now. This has been a bull of a market. I've never seen really anything like the legs this market has had, especially when you consider everything they've thrown at it to try and stop it. 7 or 8 mortgage tightenings, having to qualify it, the posted rate plus a stress test of 2% more. Just the overall requirements to even get a mortgage is already tough enough. All the taxes, the perception of what this NDP government is going to do, they're unpredictable at best. Yet the market has stayed pretty resilient, at least the condo market has. But maybe now, moving into the fall here, we're going to start to see finally this market to cool. We'll see, and I'll keep you updated on it. I'll be watching inventory very closely over the next couple of months, and we'll see where it goes. But buying your principal residence, if you want to wait till next year or the year after, no problem. Just keep renting. Make sure, as I've talked about many times before, most people that complain, I find, have no right to complain because they're not in a position to buy anyways. They don't have their $150,000 sitting in a bank account ready to go for the down payment. They're not pre-qualified for a mortgage. They can't even qualify for a mortgage, many of them. But make sure you get pre-qualified and you've got that 100 or 150 or 200,000, whatever you're going to need to buy. And if that opportunity comes next year or the year after, stay renting and buy then. But keep in mind, I've done many blogs on timing markets. Some people can do it. It's usually the people that are very experienced buyers. They've bought real estate and invested in real estate for many years. They're the ones that can usually pull the trigger in a down market. Most people can't. Interest rates will probably be tougher then too. And the mortgage requirements might be tougher a year or two from now. Who knows? It's getting crazy. But if that's you and you want to wait, by all means do. I encourage you to. Good luck. I wish you luck with it. It might work out. And when you're ready, give me a call. Once you're pre-approved and you've got your money in place, your down payment funds, you call me and I would be happy to represent you. You're going to need a realtor. You can't, with the new real estate rules they put into effect, you can't deal with the listing realtor anymore. You're going to need a realtor who is representing you and has fiduciary duty or agency. So why not hire the best? Give me a call in a year or two and I will make sure you get a good condo in a good strata that doesn't have issues coming up, and I'll negotiate the best price for you. So I'm totally fine with that for those that want to wait, but make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. I've done many blogs on it. So let's see what this market brings. I'm looking forward to it. I tell you, I would welcome a little bit more of a balanced market. I've talked about it many times before. This market has been crazy the last 4 years. I would welcome this market slowing a little bit, give me a little bit more time with my family, give me a little bit more time at the gym, working out, reading. I'm going to do some book reviews here later. I'm going to hopefully get some time later this summer and I can give you guys a few. But it would sure be great on the buying side. Remember, probably 60% of my business is on the listing side, 40% now is working with buyers. As we slip into a more balanced market, I will start to shift my business a bit more onto the buying side, just like I did the last correction we had. Because now we're not getting into bidding wars. We can go in with an offer well below asking, and I can use my negotiating skills and grind out a good price for you. And I would welcome that. The last 3 years, it's just been all bidding wars. I mean, I've had clients where we've been outbid many, many times, 3 and 4 times before we're able to get the right unit. So I would welcome a more balanced market, and we'll see what it brings this fall. I'm Owen Bigland. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I'll do a plug for my book here. It's still getting a lot of great reviews on Amazon. It's still been on their top 50 for business books. If you haven't bought it, go onto the link on my website. It'll be the best $10 you spent, and I think it'll open your eyes on the long-term benefits of creating passive income, owning your principal residence, and getting your money working for you, as opposed to just working for a paycheck every month. I'll see you next week.